Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Dawson. Welcome to Can You Relate, Cleveland's relationship show. If this is the first time you've tuned in, welcome to the show. If you're tuning back in, welcome again. Now, it's President's Day, so there's a good chance that you might be home from work if you're a teacher or you're a state employee. Good news for you, because later in the show, we're going to have our financial expert, Ken Butsey, come in to talk about your pension and your Social Security. But first, does harmony at home equal productivity at work? We have someone here who thinks that's the case. So let's get started. You know, your relationships at home, the things that happen at home often affect you at work. And the things that happen at work can sometimes affect you at home. So we have somebody here and we're going to talk about how to handle all those relationships. Her name is Janet Giovanni from Ease at Work Employees Assistance Program. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You know, I know from experience that your organization is such a huge help to the city of Cleveland. So first of all, you have a motto that I love. Tell everybody what it is.
The tagline on our logo is personal lives for better work lives.
That makes so much sense. So, challenges at home. Tell us a little bit about what are the kind of things that can happen at home that actually do kind of bleed into the workplace.
Well, you know, when employers get to understanding the needs of their employees, they realize that it's very hard for employees not to bring those problems into the home.
Right.
Oftentimes that motto about leave your problems at the doorstep really doesn't apply to today's working world. What happens is the supports that we used to have at home, we just don't have those there anymore, so we can't help but bring them to the workplace.
Right. So specifically, what kinds of things happen at home that people say, I need help?
Well, you could be a working parent of a young child and your daycare falls through, and so now you have to leave work to go take care of that. Okay. You may be grieving the loss of somebody and you think you're handling that grief well, but that shows up as distractions in the workplace. You may make mistakes.
Right.
You know, all too often we may have arguments with our spouses in the morning. We go to work.
Okay, can you relate? All right.
We carry that anger with us.
That's right.
And when we do that, we may redirect that anger towards our coworkers or our employees.
So specifically, because I know I've seen your catalog, and I mean, it feels like Chautauqua Institution. There are so many different things in this catalog to help people. Specifically, what kind of support do you give somebody who's in that situation?
Well, you know, when employees are looking for help, we suggest that one of the first places they look are right in their own workplace. So we want to make sure that they have access to programs that can help them identify their problems, understand where those problems came from, and certainly give them the tools they need to go ahead and solve those problems. When you solve that problem, that personal life and work life go back into balance.
Right.
Because when they're out of balance, that's when you risk problems.
And does somebody have to be in crisis? Is this something like, oh my gosh, my world's falling apart? Or can it be like, you know, my world's not falling apart, but I'm really kind of not happy?
You know, we certainly address those issues of people being in crisis. Things are drug and alcohol issues and those kinds of typical things that interfere with our lives. But no, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, we probably deal with more common everyday problems. We deal with people who are dealing with stress, depression, anxiety, marital issues.
And it's affecting their productivity.
Oh, absolutely. Because again, if you're distracted, if you're not paying attention, that's when accidents happen.
Right.
You know, and nobody wants to risk losing their job over a problem that they're struggling with on their own.
Because then they have more stress.
Right.
Now, I'm guessing people at home are wondering, do they pay for this service? How does that work?
No, because it is offered to them. Most EAPs are offered as part of an employee benefit package.
Okay.
So like many of your other benefits, there are no costs associated with that. So this program would be completely free of charge to any employee or their family members who would use it.
Okay.
And really the only investment is just your time and your desire to get help.
So say a company doesn't have this kind of a program. Can an employee go to them and say, look, we don't have this. Can you somehow find this?
Yes, absolutely. If you discover that your employer does not offer this program, then we certainly would encourage you to go to your human resource department and talk with them about that, because it really is best delivered as an employee benefit. You know, just for confidentiality confidentiality purposes, just to make sure that people understand that even though this is a company benefit and they're bringing personal problems to us, we want to stress very, very highly that it is confidential and your problems will not be shared.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because I have to believe that one of the biggest obstacles is people don't doing that is they think, well, I don't want anybody to know about it. But you're saying it's absolutely confidential.
Correct.
Sounds like a win-win to me.
Yes.
You're helping the company because the employees are going to be more productive. You're helping the employee because they're going to feel better and want to go to work and be productive.
Right, absolutely. And you minimize those distractions. And you can really focus on, when you're at work, you can focus on work. When you're at home, you can focus on your family.
And that's what it's about, balance. Thank you for what you do for the City of Cleveland.
Thank you very much for having me.
Would you share with everybody what your website is?
You can find us at www.easeatwork.com.
And the phone number is 1-800-521-3273.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Kath. Appreciate it.
Stay tuned, because we have more of Can You Relate coming up.
Up next, we'll tell you a little-known test for breast cancer that could save your life. And later in the show, it's your money, so why don't you get to keep it? We'll invest in some advice.